Hi, my name's Tony Chapman. I'm the host of Chatter That Matters. In this age of noise, I cut through the chaos and confusion to focus on what matters most to your life and your livelihood. And on this episode, I chat with...
You grew up as a parent in the neighborhood. You notice the kids that just sort of have a spark to their eye. They're sort of a skip to their step. And there's four brothers that live around the corner, the Shaw brothers. Great pedigree of a family. First one we're going to introduce will be David Shaw, who's spent the last 10 years, just under 10 years, UFC, and he's taken content and creativity and now focused on international market. We'll learn a little bit more about what he's doing in that space. And his brother Stephen Shaw has done such box office successes on Broadway, produced for Oprah and Rolling Stones. And gentlemen, welcome to the video.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks very much, Tony. Yeah, it's great to be here after all these years.
Before we get into the experience economy, a lot of people are listening, a lot of people are dealing with kids at home, wondering where they're going to get centered. What advice can you give parents to kind of bring up and raise the kids like you became? And I remember you guys calling me Mr. Chapman and the handshake and looking in the eyes and stuff. Like, where does that come from? What advice can you give?
You know, first of all, it starts from the parents. And so to be a good parent, I think, is paramount to the future success of one's children. Starts with hard work, starts with understanding the value of the dollar. It starts with respect, and not only respect for your contemporaries and your peers, but respect for people of all ages, all races, all ethnicities. And if you've got those types of foundations, those types of pillars, I think it sets you up nicely to build relationships and to, forge new projects in the professional and personal world that can be successful for many years to come. So I think it starts at a very early age, but it also needs to be instilled over time.
Dave, I could say you really were an inch wide and a mile deep. You took the UFC and you put it on a world stage. Stephen, the other side, you've kind of gone an inch down and a mile wide in terms of everything from producing Jurassic exhibits and A Night with Oprah Winfrey or Al Pacino, the Rolling Stones, and now some of the great Broadway. I would love to, what is exceptional in the experience economy? I'll go to you first, Stephen.
It's defining the balance of your audience, the content, and accessibility. So from the audience side, incorporating experience that appeal to your fan, both the hardcore and the casual. From a content side, we've put a premium on diversifying the experience with traditional elements, the physical and the digital elements. So those are the things to touch, see, and feel. But then the immersive experiences that are within that. And that's a very technology-driven part of the show. And the third part is accessibility. So providing multiple customer journeys that appeal across all age groups and geographic markets and cultures. And all of that sort of funnels into a positive experience and where you as the producer sort of achieve the goal of leaving that impression. They get on their phones and it's blasted through on their social medias and they're telling their friends and that's the ultimate goal, is that impression.
David, talk to me a little bit about what you've done to really scale this brand, because I think it's truly, it'll go down in history as one of the great case studies in terms of building a massive following and people that are really passionate about the sport.
Our head of brand a few years ago established 8 maxims that guide our business. And one of those maxims was be first. And be first has always been, a key edict and a philosophy behind everything we try to do. Rewind a decade ago when we were one of the first sports franchises to live stream our live events on Facebook. Almost out of necessity, because we couldn't get a good pay-per-view deal. We couldn't get a lot of good TV deals. We were forced to adopt social media to connect with our audience, to disseminate information, and to market our product. I think the other key thing for us, especially as we talk about, the experience economy, is there's really no area of the globe that we can't conquer, we don't feel we can be successful in. By virtue of our sport, which is an amalgam of a variety of different martial arts, stemming from a wide range of cultures and countries around the world, we've really created this sports product that transcends language, it transcends borders and geography, and it transcends, ethnicity and religion.
What role is technology going to play in each of your fields, and how are you going to take advantage of it?
Now we've got ability to connect our product with a customer wherever they are via whatever medium or platform they wish. So it's not only that you can see, UFC, for example, via a cable or satellite subscription. You want to watch it on your phone, on Facebook, you can do that. So I think the first thing to comment on is that it's given us the ability to connect with people wherever, whenever. I think the second thing is that, there are a lot of lovers of the live sport, but there's also a lot of lovers of the content that we produce in and around the live sport. So whether it's, in the embedded show that we produce that follows fighters when they're packing their bags, getting on the plane, arriving in Las Vegas, getting to the arena, or, it's a Facebook show that we produce every fight where we're showing behind the scenes clips. And I think that's made a material change in the way people want to consume content.
New technologies into our experience has been nothing but great for us. From the consumer side, there's a relative ease in purchasing tickets and attending events, right? That's a lot to do with mobile phones and the advancement of ticketing software. But then on the actual content side, the emergence and growth of VR and AR and projection mapping and all these, new advancements in technology have just gone to better our experiences, right? So they're more accessible, they're more cost efficient to implement. And so they've just essentially heightened that user experience and the content side within that show.
So Stephen, you were on my podcast a couple of weeks ago talking about some of the SaaS events, and obviously that entire industry has been turned upside down because of social distancing and COVID. Where do you see the experience economy coming back, and what changes do you forecast are going to happen?
So until there's a vaccine and people fully adopt that vaccine and feel comfortable attending live entertainment again, we are in for a long road. Obviously, you will see new protocol. You'll see a more sort of stringent and strict safety and health measures. But having said that, the hope is that with a vaccination, that people and feel comfortable again. And while there will be new protocol and a slew of safety measures, we are confident that things will return to normal.
Yeah, and I think on the sports side, our business plan, our budget for 2020 relative to what we thought we'd be is going to be quite far off. And so we're being forced to look to new revenue streams. One key area that we've been working on, my team's been working on, is really designing a strategy via social media to take advantage of the monetization opportunities. We're actually starting to develop meaningful revenue streams from our digital media strategy for really the first time, I think, in history. And I think you're going to see a lot of different sports need to focus on different revenue opportunities. I mean, you're seeing it, in the NFL right now. I think when the season launches, you're going to see the NFL come up with a whole suite of new sponsorship assets, especially for the local markets, that allow them to kind of supplement some of the revenue that's lost. And I think for the viewer and for the consumer, all these things are complementary, all these things are accretive, and there's just going to be a better system and a better protocol for delivering live sports and the experience around live sports when you get through the current stage of the pandemic.
So my final question to the two of you, because I'm a really passionate Canadian and I want to see Canada create a new economy. Both of you are located in the United States, the epicenter where the sport and the entertainment is. How do we find a way as an economy in a country to make sure the next generations of David and Stephen Shaws find a way to build their business in Canada? What do we need to do as a country?
There's going to continue to be a significant influx, especially in our industry, of individuals from the U.S. coming to Canada. I mean, Canada now represents and offers a very wonderful life experience for individuals who want to work, they want to be safe, they want to experience a great degree of fairness and tolerance. Economic opportunities, are going to continue to rebound, especially in the sports industry, as the franchises in Canada for U.S. sports become healthier. And so while there's always going to be a number of opportunities for Canadians to travel to the U.S., I think there's going to continue to be an equal number of opportunities for Americans to come to Canada. And it represents a pretty good proposition for people looking for an unbelievable way to live their life.
Talking to David Shaw and Stephen Shaw, brothers, both in different areas of the experience economy, both have careers that many would say was an incredible career at the end of their life, and they're obviously very young men accomplishing some great stuff. And here's 3 things that I learned today. First, to David Shaw, I love the fact that you gave so much to your parents, your upbringing, the values, and said, but it doesn't just stop as a young adult. You've got to continue to build relationships, build on trust, look at humanity as a human race as opposed to a splintered race. Stephen, I thought your insight about when you really think about it is a transformative experience, but it has nothing to do with projectors. It has nothing to do with immersive technology. It's the smiles you put on guest faces. It's the experiences the memories that create last a lifetime. And finally, I think just the shout out to Canada. This is an incredible country. This has got so much future ahead of us. And we just got to make sure our ability as storytellers and concert creators and all the things that we've done that punched above our weight class, we find a way to also do it inside Canada. So I can't wait for you two lads to come back and build some great businesses in Canada. And thank you for joining me on that Chatter That Matters.
Thanks very much, Tony.